and represented, united the Muslim world. But Turks were primarily a martial race. They were honorable, dignified people, not very interested in scientific developments, not very interested in research, but more of honorable horsemen, soldiers, fighters, dignified architects. One of the most fascinating architecture. Visit Turkey, you find it there. Even the Shah Faisal Masjid that is built in Islamabad is Turkish architecture. But it was the 20th century when the darkest period of the Muslim history came. Indeed, the darkest. Can you even begin to imagine how it must have felt to lose India? For 1,000 years, Muslims ruled India and created a civilization which was tolerant, which was benevolent within. Muslims ruled Spain for 800 years. Not a single Christian or Jew was converted on the basis of force or sword. But when Muslims were thrown out, what happened? In 1492, when Muslims were pushed out of Andalusia, for next 400 years, there was no azan in Andalusia. There was no namaz in Andalusia. There was no masjid in Andalusia. In early 1930s, when Allama Iqbal visited the Jamia Masjid of Cordoba, he writes a fascinating emotional poem about it as well. And you often see pictures of Allama Iqbal praying in Masjid Qartaba. That was the first namaz in Spain after 450 years. There's a reason why Iqbal cried when he visited Andalusia. There is a reason why Iqbal wrote poetry. One of the most fascinating poetry Iqbal wrote was on the lost heritage. 1857, we lost India. And that was the decline. Because in 1924, we lost Khilafat Usmaniya as well. Ask your great grandfathers. हमारे बुजुर्गों ने खिलाफत मूवमेंट चलाई, तहरीक चलाई थी खिलाफत को बचाने के लिए, because that was the center of gravity of our honor, of our dignity. We were never so humiliated that we never had an economic power, military power, political power, media, or even Ashrafia, the intelligentsia, the intellectuals. In our 1400 years of Muslim history, you could not imagine living in such desperation, such hopelessness. We had seen bad times before. But then there was always hope. In 1492, when we were losing Spain, Andalusia, in 1453, the Turkish armies were capturing Constantinople. So while we were being pushed out of Europe from the western flank, we were entering Europe from the eastern one. So there was always hope. When Baghdad was being overrun and sacked by the invading hordes of Genghis Khan and Halaku Khan, the civilization of Egypt and Andalusia stayed intact, giving hope to the Muslims. But most desperate civilization, the most desperate in times and environment for us came in the beginning of the 20th century, when we lost everything. We lost Khilafat Usmaniya, we lost India. Muslims globally were slaves. And imagine, would you imagine, इस तारीकी के दौर में, इस अंधेरे में, इस absolute darkness में, when practically Muslims were written off, it was written off that Muslim civilization will not rise for another 300 years. Allah sent a gift. Allah sent a special gift. Sent a man. People like him are not given by nature in charity. Remember this. They are sent as a bishara, as a khushkhabri. They are sent as a gift. They are sent as a rahmah. Allah sent Allama Iqbal. One of the greatest thinker, philosopher, which Muslim world has produced in the last 300 years. And as it seems, for quite a few future centuries as well. Most magical, most amazing. People only see him as a poet. No. He was a God sent. He was sent to speak the language of God to us. He was sent to give us the glad tidings. He was sent to revive a dead nation. He was sent to tell you your future, your destiny. With the honor, ignite you with courage, ignite you with a desire to sacrifice yourself, to achieve, reclaim your honor that we had lost. In that pitch darkness, Iqbal comes and decides, we will create a homeland for ourselves. People said, you're mad. How can it be possible? It's the British Empire rules. Indians are strong. Hindu Congress is strong. There's no possibility Muslims can create a homeland. He says. In 1938 में जब इकबाल का इंतकाल होने लगता है, लोगों ने तंज किया उनके ऊपर. कि आप तो पाकिस्तान बनाने की बात करते थे। 1930 में इलाहाबाद के एड्रेस में जब इकबाल ने कहा कि हम पाकिस्तान बनाएंगे, हम हुकूमत में हिस्सा नहीं निकालेंगे, हम इस बर्र-ए-आज़म को, इस कॉन्टिनेंट को काट के अपने हिस्सा अलग करेंगे अपने लिए। द काइंड ऑफ पर्सन ही वॉज, द काइंड ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस ही हैड, इट वॉज स्केरी, आई टेल यू। Trusting him was scary because he would speak the impossible and he had the confidence to believe what he was speaking. But our elders believed him and our finest of the finest stood by him, listened to him. Quaid-e-Azam ko Muhammad Ali Jinnah se Quaid-e-Azam banane wale Allama Iqbal the. In 1930, when Allama Iqbal says we'll create a homeland for ourselves, the land where we stand today, it was not a dream that he saw while he was asleep. It was a vision that he saw. He was awake. And not just awake, he was also foretold the result. You'll get it. It's yours. Just revive a nation. 1938 में इंतकाल से पहले लोगों ने तंज किया कि आप तो कहते थे पाकिस्तान बनेगा, अभी पाकिस्तान रेजोल्यूशन भी पास नहीं हुई, पाकिस्तान कैसे बनेगा? इकबाल सिर्फ मुस्कुराए और एतराज करने वालों का जवाब देते हैं। और बच्चों जरा इस शेर में कॉन्फिडेंस देखो, एक फकीर का, एक दरवेश का, एक कलंदर का, जो एतबार था उनको इस बात पे कि जो मेरा ताल्लुक अपने रब के साथ है, ये मुमकिन नहीं है कि जो वादा मुझसे किया गया है वो वादा झूठा साबित हो। मुमकिन नहीं है कि ये कौम अगर फैसला कर ले कि वील क्रिएट आवर ओन डेस्टिनी, अल्लाह उस तकदीर को इनको ना दे। इकबाल पर जब एतराज किया गया तो शेर कहते हैं, इश्क को फरियाद वाजिब थी सो वो हो चुकी, इश्क को फरियाद वाजिब थी सो वो हो चुकी, अब जरा दिल थाम के फरियाद की तासीर देख। Quaid-e-Azam was emotionally moved. He actually cried. He cried. Quaid-e-Azam was a very firm man. He never cried. He never showed his emotions. But on very few occasions, on the death of Allama Iqbal, and almost when he passed the Pakistan resolution, he said, अगर आज इकबाल मेरे साथ होते तो कितने खुश होते ये देखकर कि मैंने वो किया जिसका उन्हें मुझे हुक्म दिया था। And you know, then the nature conspired. Then जब खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछता है, प्रैक्टिकली ये एक मकाम वो होता है कि जब इकबाल डिफाइन करते हैं दिस मोमेंट, कि व्हेन पीपल डिसाइड कि तुम अपनी मर्जी बताओ, एंड जब उनकी सिंसेरिटी, उनकी डिग्निटी, उनका ऑनर इतना पसंद किया जाता है अल्लाह के यहां कि अल्लाह भी फिर कहता है कि अब इस मर्जी को तकदीर बना दिया जाएगा। इकबाल जब ये कहते हैं कि खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है, व्हाट डू यू वांट। मैंने भी तकदीर लिखी नहीं है, पेन इज इन माई हैंड, कलम मेरे पास है, मैं लिखने लगा हूं, लेकिन अभी लिखूंगा नहीं, बताओ तुम क्या चाहते हो। जस्ट प्रूव इट टू मी दैट यू आर सिंसियर टू रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, कि मोहम्मद से वफा तूने तो हम तेरे, ये जहां चीज है क्या, लोहो कलम तेरे। What do you want? You can write your destiny. The word impossible does not exist. That was the faith given to our elders. That was the confidence infused into Quaid-e-Azam. That was the confidence infused into our elder generation which created Pakistan. उनको कुछ मालूम था जो हमें नहीं मालूम, क्योंकि जब पाकिस्तान बनाने का फैसला किया तो यह बात तय हो चुकी थी कि now you'll have to cross a river of fire and sword. It will not be given to you on a platter. 1.25 करोड़ मुसलमान घरों से निकले थे. Over 12 million Muslims left their homes. Less than half reached Pakistan. The biggest slaughter of humanity in that brief period of time took place in India when Muslims migrated from all across India. They were mad people, I tell you this. जुनून था, इश्क थी, दीवानगी थी. उनमें से किसी ने सवाल नहीं किया कि पाकिस्तान ने हमें क्या दिया है. उनमें से किसी ने यह नहीं पूछा पाकिस्तान में हमें क्या मिलेगा. उनमें से किसी ने यह पूछा कि हमारी सिक्योरिटी का इंतजाम क्या किया है. दिल्ली से ट्रेन चलती